What's up, my fellow YouTubians? How have you been? Well, for the second week in a row, I have been unable to go to St. Louis. Well, that's not to say I could have gone, but I wouldn't have anything to do. You see, some friends of mine are making an independent movie, and they asked if I wanted to come down and be an extra or possibly play a small part. And I was just about to go on both occasions, and my friend Matt calls me at the last minute and says, actually, we've had some issues involving our locations. We're not going to be shooting any scenes with a lot of people in it, so since we're only going to be needing a small group of people, we really don't need you to come down. If you came down, you wouldn't, be doing anything. It would just be kind of a waste of time. So I'm like, that's disappointing. I was sorry to hear that. But they are getting along very well in their film. They've completed 2 weeks worth of photography so far. They've got 1 week left to go, and so I'm hoping all the best for them. Making an independent movie is tough. Losing locations, trying to get people to help out, and of course there's the monetary issue. They want to be able to give a little bit of something to the actors and the people who are working the cameras and the lights and the sound system and everything like that. And they actually have a page set up on a special website that's specifically designed to facilitate donations to independent projects. It's called Indiegogo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a link here on this video to one of their videos in which they describe what the benefits are of contributing monetarily to their budget. They will put your name in the credits, and they will send you memorabilia. And basically the money will go towards paying crew members and paying for their meals on days of shooting and giving a little something to the actors. It's not a lot of money. Nobody's working for a lot of money on the production, but they do need a little bit just to kind of make ends meet and give people a little something for their time. So if you would like to contribute to an independent movie made by actual friends of mine, the movie is called Love Stalker. It's a dark comedy, and it's about a guy who is a real player, is always macking on the ladies, always going out trying to get numbers and what have you. And he meets this beautiful woman who actually is interested in him, and he can't believe it. He can't believe his luck. The question becomes whether or not his somewhat antisocial nature will screw up that relationship, or if something else will occur that will mess things up. I've read the script. It's a lot of fun, and I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun when it's done. Yeah, it's kind of a dark comedy, kind of twisted, but looking forward to it. And if you wanted to contribute a small amount of money, $10, $20, $50, $100 maybe, there's benefits to there's benefits to be had by that. And you'd be contributing to a worthwhile cause. It's going to be a lot of fun when it's finished. So I'll have a link to their video in which they talk a little bit about the production, and that, of course, video will have a link to the page on the Indiegogo where you can contribute by credit card, debit card, whatever you want to do there. Since I've been home for the last couple of weekends, unexpectedly, I've had extra time to see movies. So, now that it's fall, a lot of good movies are coming out. Last weekend I went to see the Ben Affleck action thriller The Town, and I wasn't crazy about that. There seemed to be a lot of cliches in it. If you're a big fan of action movies, I would say you'll probably like it a lot. All the acting's really good. And it's got a really good cast. Jeremy Renner, I'm sure, is going to get a supporting actor nomination. If anybody gets anything in that movie, it'll be him. And kind of a funny thing, Blake Lively is a Boston girl from their neighborhood, and her first scene with Ben Affleck is in a bar, and the conversation they have, their Boston accents are so thick I couldn't understand a word that they were saying, which is kind of funny. Last weekend I also went to see Easy A with Emma Stone, and that movie was lots of fun. A very, very good movie, really funny. And great story. Emma Stone, she's terrific. When I saw her in Superbad, I was just like, she is awesome. She's going to be great. And she is. And also a great are Patricia Clarkson and Stanley Tucci as her parents. They're hilarious. Really good movie. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's definitely better than average for a high school set movie. So that's a good one to check out. This weekend I went to see Never Let Me Go, which is a movie that Mark Romanek directed. And is based on a novel and stars Keira Knightley and Carey Mulligan. Unfortunately, it also stars the guy who's about to play the next Spider-Man. I'm not saying that because he's a bad actor. I'm saying, why are they remaking Spider-Man already? Why are they recasting it, starting over again from the beginning, when the first movie only came out 8 years ago? I mean, it's a corporate thing. They've got to keep making Spider-Man movies if they want to keep the rights and keep making money off of these characters. It's great. I just love it. I was pretty disappointed it Never Let Me Go. And I'm sure that it's, fairly faithful to the book. The problem is that once the characters find out about their situation and the predicament that they're in, none of them do anything to try and escape. Or at least they don't try very hard. They don't try to escape their circumstances and the unfortunate situation that they're in. They figure that they're sort of meant to be this person or meant to do this thing, and consequently there isn't a whole lot of urgency in anything at all. So that was disappointing. I didn't care for it. The other movie I saw this weekend was a highly unusual movie, one I've been reading about for a number of months. It's a movie by a French director named Gaspar, but it's set in Tokyo, and the main characters are American. So the nationality movie is a little confusing. But it's called Enter the Void. And basically the main characters are a young American guy and his sister living in a small apartment in Tokyo. And within like 20 minutes of the beginning of the movie, he's shot and killed, and then his spirit rises up out of his body and then hovers over the area where he's been spending a lot of his time, sort of keeping up with what's going on with his friends and his sister and other related characters. It's a very, very unusual movie, and kind of a chore to sit through exactly. It's divided up into 3 parts, where the first part is he's alive, and then he's killed, and the second part is a whole bunch of flashbacks to his childhood where you see him growing up with his sister, and then the third part is everything that happens after that as he watches his body being prepared in the autopsy, and he watches his sister dealing with her grief, and he watches his friends fight with each other and all that kind of thing. Now here's a question that I wanted to ask you about. Since this is a European movie and they are a lot more free with what they show on screen than American movies, could the very explicit sex, because there's a lot of nudity and sex in this movie, could that be considered pornography, seeing as how it looks like the actors are actually having sex on camera, not just pretending, because they are showing you all the body parts that normally are kept just out of sight in American movies? There's 3 schools of thoughts here. One, that pornography is when actors are actually having sex instead of simply pretending to have sex. 2, pornography is when you see the genital interaction that you normally would not see in mainstream American movies. And 3, pornography is when the movie or video in question is there primarily to show sex scenes and not to tell a story. The story is there simply as a delivery system for sex scenes, whereas the other way, it usually works the other way around. The sex is part of the story. It's like a story point or something like that. It's sort of a difference in attitude. So if you have any thoughts on that, if you have an opinion one way or the other, the movie itself is something that I think a lot of my viewers would not like. And I barely like it as it is. And a lot of the, it's a beautiful movie. It's technically amazing. Tokyo looks amazing at night, and there's lots of extremely psychedelic imagery, and just technically it's kind of astonishing, some of the shots that they pull off, because it's all done from the perspective of this guy who gets killed. The entire first part of the movie, you're looking throughout his eyes throughout the entire thing. And then once he's killed, he leaves his body, and then you hover over him. So all the flashbacks, everything is all from his perspective. It's highly unusual, and it is kind of a chore to sit through, and probably unpleasant for a lot of people, given the content. But yeah, if you want to let me know how you define, porn versus regular, what the difference is, feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know about that. And please do visit the link to my friend's video. Matt and Bowles are their names. Yes, Bowles is his real name. Apparently his parents were very fond of breakfast cereal and soup. They have a video in which they describe, what you'd get out of contributing to their movie, and there will be a link on that video to the Indiegogo page where you can contribute monetarily if you so choose. That would be awesome if you could. So that's all I got for now. Thanks very much for watching, and talk to you later.